As pretty much all of us know by now, the Bleach anime is returning, and I myself am pretty excited for that. With the recent announcement of Bleach getting a super stage at Jump Festa on the 18th of December, 6 PM Japan time, it's apparent that there will be a pretty significant reveal. It has inspired me to make a video on my questions and predictions on both the stage and the anime itself. Although first, I want to clear up some confusion. The Bleach anime has never had a release date announced. The art exhibition was what was announced for 2021. At the end of the anime reveal trailer, you can see a bunch of X's, and that was supposed to be for the anime. So it's obviously supposed to signify that there's no date for it. Anyway, onto my predictions, questions, and so on. I'll get a few things out of the way that you can pretty much confirm. First off, censorship is basically not going to be a thing, considering Kubo himself stated that the anime will air at midnight, and preparing a time slot is something you do during the pre-production phase, which is a phase they're already past doing exclusively. By that I mean they're already past the pre-production phase, not that they're done with the pre-production phase, but rather they're past doing only the pre-production phase, and they're now onto both production and pre-production. Anyway, I guess you can take Kubo's statement literally by saying it's going to air at 12 AM exactly, but it could also air at 12:30 or 11:30, somewhere around midnight. Kubo will also do character designs and storyboarding, which practically confirms that the new anime will indeed be inconsistent with the anime they aired from 2004 to 2012, as some of the anime designs are different to Kubo's designs, like Rangiku's hair being orange in the anime instead of blonde like in the manga. Onto my predictions. I'm 99% sure that Studio Pierrot will be animating the show again. And no, this isn't a bad thing, and I'll get into why that is soon. Anyway, the reason I'm so sure of it is for numerous reasons. Of course, there's the tweet they made 9 months ago concerning the Bleach 20th anniversary, which promotes Bleach. Beside it obviously being weird to promote something you don't animate or own, also keep in mind how Studio Pierrot does more than just animate stuff. They also have a marketing division that makes all sorts of things like merchandise illustrations, promotional material, etc. Pierrot marketing Bleach basically means that they still have the IP. Plus, Bleach Immortal Soul, a mobile game that came out a week after the announcement of the anime return, credits Studio Pierrot on the home screen, either because they still have rights to Bleach or because they made the artwork for the game. Perhaps both. Either way, the only thing that's preventing me from declaring that I'm 100% sure that it's them is the fact that it's not officially announced. But that's basically it. Putting all the pieces of the puzzle together basically confirms it will be Pierrot. And no, this isn't bad. Yes, I know people will immediately point out to Black Clover and Tokyo Ghoul, but they're the way they are due to reasons that Bleach doesn't have to concern itself with. The original Bleach anime, which of course was by Studio Pierrot, is very consistent in terms of animation quality. And second of all, considering how long the pre-production phase really takes, I definitely have some hope. Another prediction of mine is that they'll still use the same music from the 2004 to 2012 anime in the new anime, but of course with new music on top of that. Although unlike the previous prediction, this is more so of a hunch. Considering the 20th anniversary livestream used it, I have a feeling that they'll use it for the anime as well, but that's just a guess. I do hope that they'll still use the original soundtrack. On the Precipice of Defeat, Creeping Shadows, and Nothing Can Be Explained are examples of tracks that I would love to hear again. I'm a sucker for 2000s rock and melancholy, emo, eerie music, so I can't wait to see the music, hopefully, from the original anime return in the new anime. My next prediction is when to expect the anime to arrive. Realistically speaking, I'd say the earliest would be April of 2022. I'm sure we can all agree that it'll come in 2022. My bet would be July 2022, or if I have to give a specific time period, I'd say mid-spring to late summer. Again, it's purely just a gut feeling, honestly. Next up is a question that pretty much every Bleach fan has asked themselves. Will the Thousand Year Blood Orcs anime adaptation follow Kubo's original vision or not? And, well, I have a question about this myself. And has anybody really even asked this on Club Kubo at all? I'm genuinely surprised that we hear something concerning censorship close to a full year ago at this point, but no info on this very important piece of information. Perhaps it has been asked a lot, but Kubo never came through with an answer. It would be really disappointing if it doesn't follow his original vision, honestly. Kubo himself said before the Thousand Year Blood Work started that Bleach was supposed to be going on for 10 more years. Yes, 10 years. Kubo only managed to barely muster up a bit more than 4.5 years. So 5.5 years worth of content isn't there. So the arc basically would have been over twice as long, at least 250 chapters longer. put that into perspective, that's like going from Goku meeting Bulma to Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma going to Namek, which is an absolute ridiculous amount of content. Thing is, Kubo is very involved, so the anime could perhaps follow his vision, as a lot of people suggest. It would also justify why it took so long for them to enter the production phase. Although, the pessimistic side of me likes to say no, because, well, call me cynical, but does Kubo even remember everything that he originally planned for the arc, especially with how much content there truly is to fill? I think my right to be concerned is justified because Kubo himself stated back in March of 2020 that he had forgotten about Bleach, but he doesn't imply that it's because of how much time has passed, so I'm not trying to suggest that he forgot about it due to a lack of passion. It was just a side of me with concern, a side I'll gladly keep, so if things do happen to go wrong, I'll just take the disappointment with full force. Regardless, I most definitely have faith in the arc getting greatly expanded upon, and I'll touch upon that later in the video. That aside for now, let's say it's purely the manga material and that's it. They have 207 chapters to adapt, let's say every episode is canon to the manga, and every episode on average adapts 3 full chapters, which is good pacing. That's 69 episodes of content, and that's assuming there's no filler, no additions from Kubo's original vision, no light novels, nothing else. That's the bare minimum we should expect. If it follows Kubo's original vision, the arc would essentially be over twice as long, so possibly over 150 episodes. So that's about 3 years of content. See, the reason why I have such confidence in the arc, at the very least getting a lot of additional content, is because seemingly Shueisha and Weekly Shonen Jump are putting a lot of eggs, and I mean a lot of eggs, in the Bleach basket. It's getting a super stage at Jump Festa. The Shueisha chief editor was actually present at the 2022 anime return reveal, so that's pretty significant. There's a new Bleach website that lasts for a whole decade. Considering the 69 episodes I mentioned only makes for a year and 4 months of content, the arc getting expanded upon, light novel adaptations, in addition to the series perhaps continuing with new content, seems a lot more plausible. Bleach is definitely seeming to stay for the long run, so the fully fleshed out version of the arc would only make sense. And it makes sense considering I feel like Bleach will be Shueisha's next big thing, because One Piece is obviously going to end not too long from now. I mean, and a lot of series are ending, like My Hero, or later on Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen, like a lot of series that garnered a lot of success with Shonen Jump and Shueisha are ending. So they gotta have a hit series, and considering Bleach is already an established, well-known series, of course it would make sense for them to heavily support Kubo, and it also justifies why they gave Kubo the right to serialize Burn the Witch. And because of that, I'm very excited for the future of Bleach. Also, the least I'm expecting for Jump Festa is at least a key visual. That's what I'm expecting. And another thing I can expect is maybe a game reveal. But I doubt it. Maybe I can expect it. That aside, I don't know. I'm not really expecting too much from Jump Festa other than a key visual for the anime. But considering it'll last for 45 minutes, there's a lot you can expect, so we'll see. By the way, I would expect light novel adaptations, considering Studio Pierrot did so with Naruto, despite the fact that most of the novels they adapted was fluff. The only exception was the Itachi Shinden Book of Daylight and Book of Midnight. There wasn't Book of Darkness. It was the 2 Itachi books that they adapted right before the Kaguya fight. On top of that, Studio Pierrot made a considerable amount of changes with their light novel adaptations, so perhaps it could mean the same for Bleach. Who knows? But you see, here's where things get complicated. If the 1,000-Year Blow arc follows Kubo's original vision, it would also mean that a lot of things the arc didn't explain would get elaborated upon. Okay, cool, but that's partially the job of the light novel, so would the light novel adaptations be changed to accommodate for that? It's a weird thing. Another thing I question is, if it follows his vision, isn't it bound to end up being inconsistent with the manga, considering how much extra content the arc would truly need to have Kubo's ideal vision? Of course, it's not as if he's currently making any Bleach manga content, barring one-shots, but Burn the Witch is planned to be a short series, so it's not impossible for him to return to serializing Bleach right after, especially if the anime will be very successful. Let's say, hypothetically, it would serialize. Then, if they decide to adapt said manga content into anime format, the anime could have some inconsistencies perhaps. Right, I am being very concerned over nothing, and I'm thinking way too much about oddly specific hypothetical situations. I don't even need to think about it like that. I already got a fine reason in my mind for as to why this situation won't happen, because Kubo putting his original vision into the anime and then serializing the manga that's far from your ideal story would be incredibly stupid. Sorry for rambling on about this so much, I'm very outspoken, but I do have overall positive thoughts on everything we're hearing at the moment. Kubo doing character designs and storyboarding is great stuff, and I'm under the impression that everyone is really putting a lot of effort and care into Bleach. I can't wait for the news at Jump Festa next month. Should be great. I will be covering that when that comes out. I'm very excited. And, well, I really hope that the return of Bleach will be great. With that being said, this is the end of the video. Please let me know in the comment section below if you have any predictions, perhaps anything that I've missed, feedback, criticism on how I make my videos. I'd love to know. See ya.